Okay guys, as I told you before, the city inspector said the addition on this house was not permitted. Show you the addition. This is the house. Original house was the brick, and then the addition was this with the siding and all that up there. We have a truss roof construction that goes like that, right? Now they built the porch on, which is this right here. And then they built an 800 square foot addition on top of that. It's sitting about 4 foot over from the edge of the truss. So let's go take a look at the truss. All right, here are the trusses. Now right there, see how that vent goes into that hole? That is on the end of the addition. So from there over all the way to the end is the addition. Now, you see over there, that addition is sitting right on top over here all the way down. As you can see, we have the supports going right here, and you can see right there where that OSB is pushed down. That is about where that top addition is sitting. Now you can see this truss right here is kind of bowing. Now, let's go see the addition. Look how huge this room is. Up, and I'll show you how to get underneath this addition and how exactly it is sitting on that roof. This is the only way I could figure out how to get under this roof without removing the ducting from the old original part of the house, which is that way, that comes through a crawl space that goes to that part of the roof. There was no area anywhere to get into this part, underneath this part of the house, after the floor was put down. This was a porch, 2x12 floor joist, double 5/8 plywood. Here we go. I hate this. I freaking hate this so bad. Okay guys, I am down in the hole. Yay! Here's underneath it. Now as you see, this is composite shingle roof that this addition is sitting. Okay. See the electricity. Oh my gosh. There's one of the famous connections that people do when they need to get it done. And then you come over here. There is no access entrance except that hole I caught in the floor. None whatsoever. And all that upstairs is sitting on this little ledger wall. You can kind of see there's been some water or something get through there. Okay, now this part here, this hole right here, I actually cut this hole because getting into this attic over here was next to impossible because the ducting runs through the little hole that you can crawl through. And then on top of that, look how small it is. Crawling through there sucks. And this is that little cricket that comes up to the side of the addition. That's the addition right there. Okay, remember earlier when I was in the attic showing you the trusses? And I said that duct right there goes beside the addition. That's how I know. And then this over here is the north wall. There's the vent that comes through the cricket. There's another one over there. And then you come over here. That's what we got on this side. Just open it. There's the other end of the cricket, or whatever you call it. That's where that goes. It's got boards like sitting under the rafters and shit. I don't know what that's all about. Let's go outside and look at the crickets in the valleys. All right. This up here is the addition. See, it goes right here. Here's the cricket or gusset or whatever. And there's the inside. I've shown you before. Comes up, goes over. Remember that pipe I was telling you about? It's right there. And then there's the other ones. And you come over here. This is where I was inside of. It has it built over straight over there. Come over here. The structural engineer came out and looked at our house. And
see that top plate is rotted on those two.
yeah.
I mean, it's crushed down. We could bump it out with 2x6 flat like this. Pick up that truss because it doesn't have anything holding it, and run it on over. And just basically fur this wall with 2x6s flat. We get the load down to the better part of the studs. But your biggest problem is that wall sitting on this top truss. How long ago was it done? You said the city inspected the construction?
No.
He bootlegged.
It wasn't permitted.
Yeah, he bootlegged. You see this truss goes up.
Yeah.
And there's no support, there's nothing, because he's put that upstairs roof right here. And they're not designed for that. Nothing here is going to fix it. Before I could recommend you do anything, you need to carry that load down here. The worst case is you want to have a 16-inch beam. Stick it down. I don't think you're going to like it. And I'm surprised those trusses aren't bowed this way where that wall sits. Pull the sheetrock down, find out where that wall is exactly. Go into the truss or on the sides of the truss and put blocking. And I probably prefer 3/4 inch plywood.
As the blocking?
That'd stiffen the heck out of it. It needs to sit down at the bottom of the truss and at the top of the truss. But once you measure one, they should all be the same. And then that'll bring the top cord load down to the bottom cord, which is then going to be sitting on a beam through here.
Would it be better just put a wall right here?
Sure. Now what that does though, is wherever this room ends, we still got to have a beam.
So as far as that upstairs goes, it should have a beam, or all the way down the length of the
You
house?
have a load, you have that whole roof, that whole wall is bearing down on the top of that truss. It's going to have to span from that wall to that wall. You're just lucky it hadn't failed. The termite damage is easy to take care of, okay? But we got to get that wall load down.
This isn't addressed. Over time, it just collapsed, wouldn't it?
You know, it should have already. It's got siding on it, so that whole thing is really spreading out the load. So just the floor load by code, that wall's got 360 pounds per lineal foot on it.
Okay.
I think you know what you're doing, and I'll send you a report.
Okay. And after he left, I noticed something. There is actually a 2x4 here. It looks like it may be on top of where the other wall is. That one way back there is where the back of that outside of that wall is. But this board is here. And then it kind of tapers off back towards the back. You see it. They cut it at an angle. And then it sets on another board up there. I'm gonna get my tape measure and see where we're at. The whole width, 17 feet, 7 inches. And about 4 foot in, there is a brace right there, and then it goes up here and it has the wall up there. Let's go measure that downstairs. Okay, over here you can see right in here is where that upstairs support goes. It is supported right there on top of this wall, but it also goes out even further. It's right about there is where the upstairs addition ends. It's mainly sitting right here. And then it's a tapered 2x12 that comes out to about right here. And the upstairs addition is on top of that. The corner of the wall up there, if it was sitting just on this part of the roof, needs to transfer the load all the way down to the very bottom to the slab, which it's not. You got most of the weight actually on this wall because it has the 2x4 up there. This has never been permitted. The guy just had it built up here. Matter of fact, in the middle of building this, he ended up going to jail for stealing hay bales or some shit like that. And he was a highway patrolman. That makes it even worse. I don't know if they just didn't notice, hey, this dude's over here just building crap on top of his house, or what. And when the structural engineer came out, he hasn't sent me his report yet. But the house inspector, he didn't go into the attic at all. Matter of fact, I was told that the house inspector couldn't figure out how to get in the attic, and the previous owner told him that they didn't know how to get in the attic either. Now, if I was a home inspector, I would find the damn opening to the attic. Like, what in the hell? I pay somebody for a house inspection. They need to go into the freaking attic and look and make sure everything's all right up there too. And on top of that, he didn't have to go into the attic to see that there was an addition built onto this house. He didn't check to see if it was permitted. If he didn't, from what I understand, all he complained about up here was how the wiring for those light switches go up and down at the bottom of the stairs. And he said the vents barely blow out any air. I mean, he did tell us that, but he didn't tell us, hey, that addition that's built up there was not permitted. And as a matter of fact, it needs a wall underneath the addition that transfers up to the addition load. He didn't tell us anything like that. But we may not have bought it if we knew that it needed this kind of work done to it. It looked like a move-in ready house. And the structural engineer said eventually it will fail. After seeing all that and discovering that extra bit of piece of information, the main reason for this video is to ask any other ideas that may work. Now, I took a few moments to go ahead and draw it up on paper and show you exactly what we got going on. This is about as close to scale as I can get it, right? Okay. This is the living room. This right here doesn't exist. All the shaded doesn't exist. Okay. That's the living room. It's 27 foot wide on these truss. Now the truss set down on the wall here and go like that. This wall right here is the termite damage wall. Now this is the back patio, and here's the roof that they built for that patio. And when they did that, they actually raised this part here, and the air conditioning ducting actually comes through here and blows over here. So this is the actual roof to the patio, right? And then it has a little 2x4, right on top of this wall. This is the part right here. I don't think the structural engineer knew that this wall touched this at all. I think what he was thinking is it goes from here all the way over to here and just sits on the truss. Well, he was saying that what it needs is blocking in the truss on both sides. You put it on both sides with the 3/4 inch plywood all the way down the length of the house, and then have a beam right underneath it that comes down and transfers the load down into the pad. He's saying it needs to be under that wall so that this isn't pushing down on the truss. Well, now my main question is this right here. Does that make it to where I don't need this and this? I'm going to ask him, but I'm going to get everybody else's opinion. Because if this wall actually taking some of the load and it's just reaching over here, I know that the upstairs goes past that, but that's a 2x12. Where it's actually right here is where it starts to bevel. This ain't down to exact dimensions or nothing. It's pretty close, but it starts beveling right here so that it can meet up with this roof line. So since it does have bracing right here where that wall is that goes all the way down, even though it's a 2x4 wall, does it still need something to brace this truss and a post and beam right here? I'm going to try to send this to him and let him see that part that I discovered right there, how it is actually sitting on top of that wall, but it does extend past it as well. I don't know if that changes anything, but we'll see. I'm so hoping that this right here is transferring the load to the ground. Then I'll just put like a 2x4 wall over here, or do like he said and just fur the wall with 2x6s. I go plenty of those to hold up that truss. But is this still required since we have this? I'm not an architect, but I think that should relieve some of the stress, and I'm hoping it does. If I put in a wall and put like a laundry room there, that's going to take up quite a bit of the living room space. The open floor plan is just going to feel crowded when you move that kitchen over another 4 foot. So, wish me luck, guys. Tell me what you think. Tell me if this is something that the inspector should have caught. He didn't even check to see if the addition was safe. And a home inspector, you would think, should know that if there's a wall that comes down on top of the truss, it needs to be supported. Please tell me that if it is all a clusterfuck, that this house inspector that we had do this is liable for not catching it. I did go find something real quick, and lo and behold, guess what? The guy that did the house inspection did the termite inspection too. Go figure. Let's take a look at this. It's done by Evans Homes Inspections LLC. Paid $450 for them to do this. That's for the home inspection and termite inspection. Now here's the official termite and wood destroying insect report. I did notice here that they have inaccessible or visually obstructed areas, and it does say yes. It says unfloored or insulated attic areas, interior of hollow walls, floors, ceilings, areas behind, beneath stoves, refrigerators, furnished, built-in cabinets, insulation, floor coverings, inadequate clearance and crawl space, area requiring tearing into defacing to inspect. Well, I mean, to get in the attic, all you had to do is take off the very end thing, and you could have seen the addition on there. But let's see here. Evidence of activity or damage by termites? No. Was there any damage? No. Is there evidence of previous infestation or treatment? No. Recommendation for treatment or correction? Nope. Additional comments? Nothing. Also in this contract, it's pretty much a termite contract, so I don't know if this applies or not, but it says here to read the page, the report is not guarantee or warranty as to absence of wood destroying insects, nor is it a structural integrity report. The inspector's training and experience do not qualify the inspector in damage evaluation or any other building, construction, technology, and or repair. It's also telling you about it was conducted where it was visually accessible. So anyway, it's just a bunch of hoopla. All that fine print there, it says that they're not liable. They're not able to evaluate it in any construction technology and or repair. What's the home inspector doing? I'm just confused, man. But so maybe the house inspector is not touchable. So is that the only way I can fix it, is to put that beam in there and all that? It's going to be a lot of work, and it's going to be really messy and really expensive, and it's going to piss me off. But if I got to do it, I got to do it. I wish the house inspector would have done his damn job. I don't know. There's an addition that wasn't permitted. So in my eyes, Evans Home Inspection sucks. maybe I'm expecting too much for them to tell me if something's wrong for my house. I thought that's what a home inspection was. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you liked the video and want to follow my process, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Hey man, while you're at it, check out my other YouTube channels. The Stay Home Dad, the Back End Handyman, the Dorcher Family, and the Average Stoner. Just a little bit of what I do from day to day as a stay-home dad.